Greetings, everyone. It's Arki Hodges here, president of the Black Achievement Fund. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Today, we are having another info session, live info session on what the Black Achievement Fund is all about. For those of you who are just tuning in, we are a very easy to get to know organization because we're all about you. We are all about Black self-determination and how to achieve that. But to break that down in a clinical sense, I'll just give you our official mission. The mission of the Black Achievement Fund is to finance the grand development of Black America through a very simple system of collective economics, or UJAMA. 10 million of us, $9 a month, equals $90 million every single month and over $1 billion a year to begin the process of financing our own development. How does that look? What type of development do we want? What are we looking for? The Black Achievement Fund is looking to create new residential communities for our people. We are here to build Black-owned institutions and to ultimately establish our own municipalities across the country. Where we are right now today, since June of 2020, the Black Achievement Fund, we have a little over 3,300 members. In addition, the Black Achievement Fund has members in approximately 14 different countries. The Black Achievement Fund also is open to anyone who believes in our mission and our guiding principles, regardless of race, religion, political preference. And to date, the Black Achievement Fund, we currently own 8 acres of land that we've collectively purchased and also had 2 acres donated. The Black Achievement Fund has recycled over $500,000 back into the Black community. We have also given out close to $40,000 in scholarships and grants to other nonprofit organizations. We have our very own Chemic Club that I'm broadcasting from right now. We've also sponsored numerous public events, cookouts, and things like that. But we're not waiting for 10 million people. That's the main thing that I want to get across, is that the Black Achievement Fund, we are making progress with the members that we have right now today. So I don't want you guys who've been on the sidelines watching and saying, well, they don't have 10,000 members yet. They don't have 25,000 members yet. I'm gonna wait until they ever have 100,000 members. There's no need to wait because we are already achieving a tremendous amount in our communities right now from the members that we have contributing today. All right. Today we are going to spotlight a Black-owned town by the name of Boley, Oklahoma. Over the past weeks, I've been sharing a lot of videos on all Black communities, and it's for a purpose. As a historian, my goal isn't to research history for nostalgia. My goal is to research history to know who I am, research history to learn what strategies my ancestors used for our liberation here in the American context. And in doing so, the very first liberation strategies that our people had after enslavement was self-determination. They wanted to build their own communities separate from white people. White people wanted the exact same thing. With nothing, with no money, no land, no resources, 5 million formerly enslaved African people were freed in America and left on their own. What did we do? The very first thing was we began to unify. We understood that individually we had no power. That the only way to make sense out of our situation was for us to unite and establish our own communities. And that's exactly what black people did. In Oklahoma alone, there was over 50 black municipalities. And I'm not talking about communities. When I say a city, a municipality, I'm talking about a self-governing body of land in the United States of America. In fact, one pioneering black man petitioned to have the whole entire state be a state for black development. Here we are, fast forward to 2024, and the most major liberation movement in our lifetime was the civil rights movement. And the civil rights movement was a major departure from the black liberation strategy of self-determination, of establishing our own communities where we would essentially govern ourselves and be in control of the social, political, and economic forces within our community. That was our strategy. The civil rights movement had us depart from that. And what ended up happening is that when we moved into the greater white community, we invariably abandoned the black communities that we worked so hard to establish. And the tragedy of it all is that this integration wasn't two ways. It wasn't black people integrating white establishments and white people integrating black establishments. What it meant was that black people who formerly would spend their money with other black businesses now sought out businesses outside of their community that they felt had superior goods, who were able to charge cheaper prices because they had a monopoly, more capital, more resources, so on and so forth. And that almost single-handedly destroyed all of the black communities that strove to exist in the heart of a racist environment. Now, here we are in 2024. We've seen a glass ceiling with integration. We've seen how powerless we are in white-controlled territory in America, in white-controlled cities in America. Even in black-controlled cities, the police departments be white. The prosecutors are white. The judges are white. So we don't even have any form of protection where we live. Right now, the Black Achievement Fund is endeavoring to build a brand new black city, one in which we control every aspect of the city. In the state of Georgia, you need 620 acres, 200 permanent residents to establish your own city and to be able to provide at least 4 out of 10 essential city services, such as, having a post office, having a school, having a hospital, having sanitation, trash pickup, having a fire department, all of those types of things. And if you don't provide them yourselves, you can actually contract those services from a neighboring county in order to satisfy that requirement. But the objective here is very simple. By us establishing our own city, we build our own courthouse. We build our own jail. We appoint our own judges. We appoint our own prosecutors. We hire the police chief. We hire the police officers. All of them, all of these officials are 100% under our control. The tax revenue from property taxes in our community, from the splash taxes in our community, Those funds come directly for us, to us, okay? When it comes time to protect ourselves against white police officers, racist people, we don't have this problem. They can't legally come into our community. No police officer in the state of Georgia would be able to come into our city and arrest a black person for anything. We have the ability right here in America to establish our own city where we are 100% self-determining. Why it is that that has not become a major objective of the Black liberation movement or the Black leadership establishment is absolutely mind-boggling. We have over or nearing $2 trillion in spending money in the United States of America, and we can't even capture 1% of that. Out of all the leaders that we're producing, how many of them are saying, okay, in order for black people to be liberated, we need to be able to have the power and resources to be self-determining. In order to do that, the resources we have available to us in America is the municipality laws. That grants us the legal right to be self-determining in the United States of America. Nothing else does. Nothing else does. I've shared with you a multitude of all black towns that had peaks and valleys of success, but even at their poorest, they're still liberated. They're still happy. They still control their own destiny. They're still free from the laws of racist people. I visited all of the 13 all-black towns in Oklahoma in 2019, and 2019, and I've gone back multiple times. Although they're dirt poor, there is a level of freedom that you feel. There is a level of nostalgia that you feel that overshadows any sense of poverty. Today, we're going to talk about one of those towns, Boley, Oklahoma. And one of the things about self-determination that is so powerful is that you preserve your culture when you're able to be self-determining. You don't have to dilute your culture in order to blend in. One of the things that Boley has been able to do in its long history, even though it's now very much impoverished, is to maintain some of these traditions that bring people back home. But having a firm sense of home, a place that is yours, a place that is owned by your people, is a feeling, once again, that is indescribable. So this is what the Black Achievement Fund is here to offer to the Black leadership establishment. We are taking the lead on revamping our old strategies of self-determination, self-reliance, all right? And we need your support. We need your help. It's $9 a month, all right? I don't even know, I don't know what else, how else your $9 a month can have a greater impact on the lives of black people than joining the Black Achievement Fund. All right, right now we're recycling this capital back into our community in as many ways as possible, okay? Right now, approximately 65% of all of the money that we bring in is going back into the pockets of another black person. So this whole concept of collective economics of Ujamaa, it works. It works. And it makes sense. So we implore all of you who are out there listening to take what we're saying seriously, to become a part of a new movement that puts you at the forefront. We're not concerned about the rest of America. We're not concerned about other racial groups. We here at the Black Achievement Fund are 100% concerned with Black people and the grand development of Black communities, the establishment of Black institutions. We don't apologize for it, and it is firmly embedded not just in our mission, but also in our guiding principles. All right. So we have a new website. I hope you guys are enjoying it. We're still making some adjustments to it, especially on the phone version. So if you see some formatting that is off, we know about it, and we're working to get that fixed right now. And we're also raising money to build our very first guest house on our own land. Okay. We need $75,000 to get it going, to get the financing going. We need 500 people to contribute at least $150 to this effort. And we're trying to raise this money within the next 24 months, all right? So we need you guys to be about that action and not just about talk, all right? If you can't give the whole 150 at one time, no problem. You can give not $10 a month, you can give $15 a month, but we definitely need to raise this capital so that we can show and prove to other people. There is absolutely nothing more convincing than to have something physical right in front of your face. We've already purchased the land. Members have already gotten an opportunity to see the land, to see how beautiful the land is. Now, when we go back to have our Juneteenth next year, we want to have our own guest house. All right? So I want to thank everybody who has already contributed. And those of you who have not, please put that on your agenda to do so as soon as possible. All right, so now we are going to get into Boley, Oklahoma.
Oral joined us now to tell us all about that. Jason.
Rich, the people of Boley say there's something about their town that makes them proud and wanted to do well. And even those who haven't lived in the Okfuskee County city in a while can't help but want to come back and celebrate the rodeo and Boley's history.
You can't count to 5? It's the Saturday before Memorial Day, and a few friendly rounds of dominoes are playing out in Boley's hardware store.
Okay, that took me out. All right then.
They're biding their time until the big parade, which leads to the historic Boley Rodeo later that evening.
With us, we kind of have a laid-back life, not boring.
That's the owner of the hardware store, Dr. Frances Shelton, who is also Boley's mayor.
Everything happens in Boley. It's just like any other town, just on a smaller scale.
She says the Boley Rodeo and parade is like a homecoming to many.
Well, it brings family home, and there's excitement in the air. When you hear every day, you kind of get used to the calmness that comes with the city, and so this is an opportunity to get the excitement of people coming home, events happening at the rodeo and down rodeo ground and downtown. So yeah, I love it.
The mayor is right. Kenny Shavers is here from Kansas City to celebrate his great-grandfather, Marshall W.R. Shaver, who was killed in the line of duty in 1905.
Yeah, we came in Friday night. We come down every year. We do I clean off my ancestors' graves, and we celebrate this day because I come every year because of my great-grandfather, you know, right. W.R. Shaver. If ever you look it up on the internet, it's the Great Gunfight of Boley, Oklahoma. All right. And it'll show how he was killed in an act of duty. And back then, there wasn't too many black United States Marshals.
The highway leading into Boley was renamed for Marshall Shaver, who protected early life in Boley. So what was that early life like in Boley?
Well, I wasn't here, but I've been told that it was pretty good. I know I look like maybe I was here in 1903, but I wasn't.
Boley historian Henrietta Holloway Hicks says the town came into existence in 1903 and was officially incorporated in 1905.
The town was built here on 160 acres owned by Abigail Barnett. Abigail Barnett was about a 12-year-old young woman. Her father was a freedman, so consequently they had received allotment. They got the acreage. I don't know about the mule because I didn't hear about that.
The Fort Smith and Western Rail made Boley a stop along the way to Guthrie.
They tell us that it had to stop every 6 miles for water. You know, it's a steam engine, so it had to stop every 6 miles. So the most recent stop for us was every 6 miles, Okemah, Castle, and then this spot in the road here.
During those early years, it was cotton which fueled Boley's economy.
The slowdown came when cotton no longer was king. Cotton was the active crop that the farmers grew, and they took care of all of the children that they had. Acres and acres of cotton was planted and utilized. And when we got into doing the cotton, cotton became king all over the world. So the overproduction of cotton caused a part of the downfall of Boley.
While how many people were in the area when Boley was founded is unknown, by the time statehood rolled around in 1907, Boley boasted a population of 824 people. By the 1910 census, Boley grew to more than 1,300 residents, which was the highest population recorded for the town. And as the town grew, so did the people's desire to modernize their town.
We have here the electric company. It's the first black-owned and operated electric company in the United States of America in Boley, Oklahoma.
C.J. Harris calls himself the Boley Pioneer. He's inspired by an Oklahoma history report he researched and focused on Boley.
And when I had to actually research Boley, Oklahoma, I was shocked at what those people who started with nothing made the wealthiest African-American town in the world. And I mean, they just had grit that would not quit.
We had everything here. I keep telling you that you have in big cities. I say that over and over so people will understand. If you name it, we had it. And as I said a while ago, all of this was done. We had a brick plant. The black man owned it. He made the brick. We had, as I said, the gins. They were operated by the black folk. They owned them. We had electricity. We had our own electrical system, and they made that themselves. We didn't have PSO back then.
At its low point in 1980, the population of Boley dwindled to 423 residents, but since then has grown back to just short of 1,100 according to the 2020 census. While cotton and the railroad are faded memories from Boley's history, the Black Cowboy is not. Jacksonville, Florida-based Norman Studios made a couple of movies about life in Boley as a black cowboy, like The Crimson Skull. The studio also shot a film in Boley called The Bulldogger. It was Bill Pickett's first time to be cast in a film, and bulldogging cowboys are still featured at the Boley Rodeo today. The current incarnation of the Boley Rodeo started in 1961.
Well, Boley Rodeo is one of the longest-running historical black rodeos there is, and black cowboys compete all over the world now. It used to be they couldn't go to the PRCA. They couldn't go and run these other big circuits that were out there. So Boley was on their calendar. They were going to come to Boley and compete because Boley was one of the places that drew the real big crowds that everybody came to see. If you were somebody competing in rodeo, you were going to come to Boley.
Willie Williams Jr. has taken over as coordinator for the annual Boley Rodeo.
Like Ms. Cooksey says, it's a lot of work. Getting everything together, but the chamber for the city of Boley is a great organization to come in and work for. That you get their support 100%.
One of the previous coordinators for the Boley Rodeo was also a champion barrel racer.
I come from a rodeo family, and with that, there was also cattle that we had, my dad owned, that we ran cattle in Boley.
Rita Cooksey is giving back to Boley by bringing a rodeo camp to teach younger people the finer points of roping and riding.
I also rodeoed in the 80s really heavy all over the United States. I had my own rodeo camps. Actually, we brought the rodeo camp back to Boley, and we're going to have various people coming in for the camp.
Even though she's traveled all over to compete, Cooksey says Boley always brought her back.
You're not going to miss Boley Rodeo. Boley Rodeo is deep in my heart. It's the #1 rodeo and still is in the United States. It's a black rodeo and that has the longest longevity. Nobody else is going to beat Boley.
Wait a minute. Williams agrees. There's just something about the Boley Rodeo.
So to come to Boley as a black athlete and a rodeo athlete, you come to where things grew and where they grew from.
One more, but it's holding y'all.
I'm looking forward to people coming and leaving some of that money here that they make. And then also those who are here and have open doors and make sales to increase that ability to make extra money that wouldn't ordinarily be made.
Interestingly enough, there seems to be a boomerang effect Boley has on some people. For instance, Mayor Shelton actually came back to Boley after a successful career.
Retired and came home because I wanted to be involved in what was happening within the community.
So even if someone leaves the town of Boley, they still belong.
I think that's what really helps is that pride, that sense of community that was instilled in the citizens of Boley over the past 100 years, 120 years since 1903. They still have that sense of belonging, that sense of community, and they appreciate that no matter where they go when they leave the town of Boley. And they always, sometimes they just want to give back, just find a way that they can give back. And that's what is really keeping us going today.
And the town's leaders feel the future is a bright one in Boley.
The most important thing, I think, is the sense of community, the sense of belonging, the sense of knowing your neighbor, knowing your townspeople, knowing who you can go to if you need to have something done. And I think you'll find some of the most friendliest people in the world here in Boley.
The next stop in our tour of Oklahoma's Black Frontier Towns is Taft, Oklahoma.
How many of you know anything about Boley, Oklahoma? Or that we even had black cowboys and cowgirls? I mean, so much of our history is so buried, you know, and one of the things that I appreciate over and over and over again as I research these all black communities, all black towns, is that once again, it is about community. It's about culture. It's about people. And despite that, they don't have skyscrapers and malls on the corner and all of those things. There is a sense of peace. There is a sense of tranquility that I don't see when I talk to people who are not living in these environments. When I think about places like Boley, places like the other 13 or 12 all black towns in Oklahoma, I say to myself, what if we had a movement on a scale of a civil rights movement where we went to go and buy land in these all black towns and rebuild these black towns? What would happen if we took all of the energy, all of the talent that we willingly contribute to the operation of America's businesses? What if all of that talent right now descended upon all of these remaining black-owned towns? What could we do? Imagine right now today, we had a new civil rights movement that was centered on self-determination, and Black people all across the country were building brand new Black cities all across the United States of America, governed by Black people, operating under a philosophy like the Black Achievement Funds, guiding principles like the Black Achievement Funds. You go into these Black towns, we got free health care, we have free dental care, we have beautiful parks, we have schools that teach empowerment, that teach you applied knowledge and not just rhetoric. We had businesses that were in partnership with the community because the community through the Black Achievement Fund has subsidized these businesses. We have entertainment venues that are safe. We're protected by our own police officers all throughout our city. We have a court system that is not preying on our children, is not preying on our community members to lock them up and imprison them. We control our own voting apparatus. We don't have to worry about, well, who's counting our votes? Is somebody throwing our votes down the drain? And we are firmly a part of the United States government. Imagine we had 20 cities across the United States of America that were Black-owned, operating under this philosophy. What kind of message would that send? We have to reconsider our liberation strategy as a people. I do not see the Black leadership establishment doing any type of analysis on a pivot. Right now, when I assess the Black leadership establishment, almost exclusively our leaders are tied to integration. Our leaders in the Black community, by and large, are politicians and preachers. And even our nonprofit leaders, all of their money is coming from white sources, white foundations, white corporations. So to what extent is the Black leadership establishment leading the Black masses to Black liberation? What is the definition of Black liberation that we're currently operating off of? Because I'm not clear. Are we supposed to be liberated through integration? Can we be liberated without controlling the political, economic, and social forces in our own community? Can we be liberated if we don't have the wherewithal to employ our own children? Can we be liberated if we don't have the ability to protect our own land, to protect our own interests? We have the ability to show the world by building our own cities what African people are truly capable of. And not only that, we get to demonstrate our humanitarianism. We get to show how we can create a world-class first world city in which we put people over profits, in which we force all of the entrepreneurs, all of the capitalists into partnering with us strictly through ownership of the means of production within our city. We as a people, we own whatever plants operate in our city. We own whatever restaurants enter our city, whatever businesses, brick and mortar, all of that, we own as a collective. We lease all of these things in a subsidized manner to Black entrepreneurs, Black business people. In exchange, members of the Black Achievement Fund get lower prices on goods and services from all of these businesses indefinitely. In exchange, our business community no longer have to come out of their pocket for exorbitant amounts of money to launch a brick and mortar business. You want to start a restaurant? We build a restaurant to suit. We own all the equipment. We lease you the restaurant at a subsidized rate. You're not paying $10,000 a month. You're paying $5,000 a month. In exchange, we provide you with a ready audience, a ready customer base, because they already know they're getting a discount. And it's not hurting you because we've already subsidized your rent to be able to absorb these discounts. But this ensures two things. It ensures that all of our members will have a reduced cost of living in their city. Our entrepreneurs will have access to upscale brick and mortar facilities and access to capital in a way they've never had before. By creating this symbiotic structure between the community and our business owners, again, we effectively become partners in all of the businesses that exist within our community. We utilize our tax base to pay the salaries of all the doctors and the nurses in our hospitals. We use the per pupil funding that we get from the state to pay the salaries of the teachers at the schools that we build. This is us operating as a sovereign. This is us operating squarely within the confines of self-determination. And this is all legal. This is all legal. This is all legal. If we know, if we can look back, they say hindsight is 20/20. If we can look back today and see how integration harmed our communities, why can't we course correct? Why are we stuck in this space? One of the reasons we're stuck in this space is that all of our leaders are being paid by white people. They get their salary from white people. So if all of our leaders are influenced by white people, are they capable of delivering a true strategy for African liberation? Is it possible? We've developed a system to pay ourselves through the Black Achievement Fund. And you guys do the math. $90 million a month. Do you know how many salaries that is? That's a lot of salaries for a lot of people. But if we can't provide a sustainable, that's the key word, sustainable. If we can't provide a sustainable platform for economic stability, we can't do anything. We can't. How does the United States of America generate the wealth to operate the country? Through taxes, people. Last year was $4.4 trillion they brought in off of the same collective economics that I'm sharing with you. The only difference is the money don't go back to us. They control the pot. This is a way to tax ourselves. This is a way for us to become independent. And by adopting this approach, we not only lower the cost of living within our communities for everyone, we also provide more economic opportunity individually. Because now we in charge of our comps. We in charge of the property values in our community. Okay, we send out the appraisers. So the people who buy in our community, because our community is going to be first rate, everybody going to want to live there. That increases the value of your house exponentially. It is a win-win for everybody. Now, when we go to that hospital in our community, we know that all of these doctors are paid out of our $9 a month. We have all of this state-of-the-art equipment, and we know that these doctors are trained strictly on the Black body. They're not forced to utilize a Western paradigm to try to fix Black people. But right now, today, all of our doctors are educated through a Western system. And the American insurance companies, they will not provide any money for any Black doctor who are utilizing anything outside of the European medical paradigm. They're not going to pay for it. They don't care what the results are. There is no way that African people can arrive at self-determination and be liberated in the United States of America. I want to open the floor to some of you who are on, and I want to hear your thoughts on where we are in terms of leadership and this whole idea of rebuilding Black cities, and not communities, full municipalities. Because again, this is where we see our power. Are we going in the right direction? What are your thoughts? Any hands? Nobody? Brother Jesse, you have the floor.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, mahalo tep, everyone.
Mahalo-tep, brother.
We thank the Most High for the opportunity to be here again for this session. The question about being on the right path as far as our leadership in this country, from the standpoint of what I can see and what I've witnessed and what I've experienced, the Black Achievement Fund is about the only organization that's on the right path. Our leadership are stuck on integration. They're stuck on politics. Their concept of, like you say, pivoting, because we've been on this vein now for how many years? 60-something years? And the progress just ain't happening. So it's going to take innovative concepts like the Black Achievement Fund to achieve it. We're on the right path.
Awesome.
We're on the right path. If we continue, we'll get there. Now, as far as that, the town of Boley, I never heard of the town of Boley. Now, I've heard of the Black Cowboys because those were the original cowboys. Mm-hmm. But that's really inspiring to know our people. There's so much we don't know. We've been doing things and participating in things, creating things for the last 400,000 years or better. But we don't know because our history has been pushed to the side. In some cases, other people have taken credit for what we have done. So that's another thing with your the training, the history course that you have I started to look at it. It's great, but people are operating in darkness as far as history. People don't know. I asked someone the other day where Egypt is located. Do you know where Egypt is located?
Hmm.
I don't really know. It's in the Middle East, isn't it?
Mm.
No, no. There's just some basic things that's just been kind of hidden away from us. So we have to, every chance we get, we have to educate people and continue in the past. I think Black Achievement Fund, we're going to get there. I'm already, see, I like to visualize stuff in the future. I'm already looking for phase 3 for this other one. this, this other, this other 400, other 600 acres that we have to have. We're going to get there, but we gotta continue, stick with it, and stay on the path. We get there. But you're doing a great job. See, the knowledge that you have was not something that you made up. I can tell it's something that was given to you, and when you give it a mission, you have to accomplish it. It's not. I know it's not. It's not easy because you have a lot of hats that you're covering. But be encouraged. Be encouraged. You're doing a fine job, and we're all going to get there. So let me get off so I can give somebody else a chance to talk.
Thank you, brother. We definitely gonna get there, man. We definitely gonna get there. And sometimes it does feel like, a mountain to climb. But then when I come on to the platform and I get the encouragement from you guys, I know that we can do it. So thanks for all the encouragement. We got Sister Dr. Gloria and then Sister Natasha.
Yes, I know we have the correct plan. And when you were talking, I was like putting it all together. Of course, now being old, I do feel that you have to kind of like work from the nucleus. You take your time and you build it out. And as like you were talking about, coming together, having a business in the community. Well, if you go into a place where there is a community, it might be just a few of us from the BAF, but other people will see and eventually come together. And then you'll see the other cities that are doing it all around. But everything that I've seen that's been successful requires patience. But you gotta have that patience planned out, and so that you can see it. And I know that sometimes we want to just hurry up and get it, but right now all the things that you were talking about, and I think in was it Wall Street when they burned that thing down, and
Hmm.
they came back and rebuilt it again, didn't they?
No,
They didn't
unfortunately.
build. Which one of it was it? Tulsa? One of them they did build it.
They're
It
trying
came
to
back.
rebuild now, but one of the biggest problems is that the local government confiscated a lot of that land that blacks had owned in the
Mm-hmm.
district and resold it to white people. So there
Yep.
has been a renaissance in Tulsa. It definitely has for black people to come back and to revive the community. But we didn't get that land back, and the people actually sued to get reparations for the land that was confiscated and never received it.
But
But we
they didn't
still.
they didn't stop working on it. I mean, some of
Mm-mm.
them just died.
Mhm.
And but they were still working to do what they can do. And we got too much technology out here now for it not to be successful if we work it. But we gotta stop looking back and thinking that because it hasn't been done before, it can't. I really think if we really can see, if we can go to the nucleus and build it out in our minds. I know some people say, well, you got to see the big thing up first. Well, you can see them both at one time, to do it. But I know that we can do it. I
Awesome.
got faith.
Thank you, Dr. Gloria. We got Sister Natasha, and then
Greetings, 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 BAF family,
Brother
Brother
Blake.
Archie. Greetings.
Greeting.
Okay, just really quickly off of what Dr. Gloria was just alluding to is we can do this. Absolutely, we can do this. This is not a new idea. As you see, these towns and Black-owned cities, municipalities, they've been up and running for decades. It's just a matter of pulling together our Black resources and increasing our Black economics in order to sustain ourselves. When I tell you it's possible, it's absolutely possible. The thing that we have to do is find whatever the happy medium, I believe, Brother Arkey, the happy medium between how we live today, what's been established currency wise, and the BAF organization itself as a whole. What does that look like, and how do we balance that in order to support ourselves, right? We're trying hard enough to pull ourselves away from what we've been subjected to throughout the years, throughout the decades, throughout slavery. We're trying our best to pull away from that, but at the same time, we have to find a way to support ourselves with that same economy that benefits us, if that makes sense.
No, it
So
definitely does. You know, that's the hard part. Like you said, is essentially getting us back to understanding that we have to do something collectively, something internally, and it's just not going to happen through osmosis.
exactly.
You know? So we're trying here, and the one thing that also helps is understanding that all of these other towns that we've been researching, they started from nothing. They started from just a thought, from just an idea. So to know that, and there was a phrase that one of the guys used. He was like, about grit, about black people's grit. He said something about
Grit that won't quit.
something, yeah, something to that effect.
That's what he said. He said they had grit that
That
wouldn't quit.
won't, yeah, you know, and that really, really sums up our people. So I'm just hoping for all of you out there who are listening today, who aren't members yet, understand that you play a part, that you can't sit on the sideline and then scream about what we're not doing. There are organizations out here that are doing virtually everything. Are you on the sidelines? Or are you in the game? Because we need you in the game. Brother AG, you had the floor. And then Brother Lou.
I'm going to yield to Brother Luke.
Okay. Brother Lou, you have the
Well, good afternoon, everybody.
afternoon.
Yeah, just a few things. I agree with Brother Jesse. There's no doubt in my mind we are on the right path. So it's no question. And like I said, I'm here. Until until we make it happen. So
Hey,
what I wanted to say also, but I wanted to ask you a question, Brother Key. Are you familiar, or have you ever heard of the organization Power Learning System?
our learning.
It was back in 1996 that they first started, and it was a similar situation to what you have going here. However, I thought that was the last frontier for Black America at the time, but
Our learning
unfortunately,
system. I'm gonna have to look that
yeah,
up.
it's called Black. They're no longer in existence. I don't believe they kind of phased out. But I brought that up to say you mentioned something about the restaurants. They we was opening restaurants. Matter of fact, they opened one in Atlanta. It was called Noodles, and the way we was able to get it going and keep it going, the members had to agree to support it weekly, on a weekly basis, and bring in a patron, bring in a friend or somebody for lunch. Even if you had to pay for the lunch, you brought them in. But that was the way to keep the restaurant going, made sure that they would make it.
That's
And
awesome idea.
I actually visit there. My daughter was a college student at Spelman College at the time. So I was in Atlanta quite a bit. So I actually visit the restaurant, my wife and I, and it was amazing, man. I mean, see all these Black people operating, running all this stuff. So, but I said that just to say that I am very excited about what you're doing, and we're gonna make it happen. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you, thank you. And I need you guys to always share that wisdom, anything that you know about that is innovative that I should know about, please bring it to my attention. Believe it or not, I do read at least 95% of all the articles and videos that you guys do send me, and a lot of you see me incorporate that in our info session. So thanks, Brother Lou, for that information.
Sure.
Because one of the things that we want to do is we want to be innovative. We need to understand that we don't have to operate like white people in anything that we do. Even if we're our own municipality, we still can color within the lines, but still implement things that are based on our own worldview. And one of those things with me is this issue with capitalism. Is this issue with these business people having too much control over the daily lives of individual people? And one of the ways for us to mitigate that is for us to get into the the business world, but not as business people, but as the people who own the means of production that these business owners are going to have to utilize for their businesses. So there are a lot of innovative ways that we're going to be working in the Black Achievement Fund to provide a healthier state of living, quality of living for everybody. Really quickly, and we have we have Sister Deirdre who has her hand up next. But the hospital thing, it is really, 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 really big to me. Okay, we had over 50 hospitals at one particular time in America. Right now, we only have one Black-owned hospital, and that's affiliated with Howard University. So right now, one of our innovative ways that we are going to be providing free healthcare, we build the hospital or health facility. We pay for all of the state-of-the-art equipment, just like we've done with the Chemic Club. But we take it a step further and we pay the salaries of the doctors and whatever support staff. I was having dinner yesterday with one of our members who is a MD, and he's retired. And he was sharing with me that he came out of retirement because he just loves doctoring. And right now he has a buddy who was specializing in diabetes treatment and prevention and all of those things, and that he gets such a profound sense of duty by helping people, and he can see the results of his work. And one of the things he was sharing with me, he was like, listen, we love the idea about the free healthcare. And he was like, you talking about paying the salaries. He's like, I got a bunch of people, bunch of doctors who are just like me, retired, don't need the money. You gave us the hospital, we had the equipment. You'll have people volunteering their services. So right now we have the ability, from where we are right now, we already have the land to be able to establish something like this. But our goal, our job as members of the Black Achievement Fund is to understand that the burden of proof is on us. The burden of proof is on the Black Pan-Africanist leadership to be able to demonstrate that our leadership strategy has teeth, that our leadership strategy can produce results in the same way that the integrationist leadership establishment did produce results. Now, we can talk about whether or not those results were desirable and to what extent those results also were a double-edged sword. That can be debatable. But this hospital, the schools, all of these things are things that we can control right now. Sister D, you have the floor.
Yeah, peace, family, greetings, everyone. Yes, I think absolutely we're moving in the right direction, as long as we're moving. You know what I'm saying? Stagnancy is what kills us, that brings all the diseases and whatever else. So as long as we're moving, it's a good thing. I mean, as long as everything we're doing is positive, we're trying to help the community, we giving everything we get, we give it back. You really can't even ask for more than that. Everything else is really just ice cream on, which is cake on ice cream or ice cream on the cake or whatever.
Ice on the cake.
Yeah, so Yeah, I think long as we have people that just keep coming and saying, yeah, let's do it, and and we keep coming together. But I just hope everyone remembers organizing requires work. It don't just require lip service. A
Exactly.
lot of us a lot of us don't mind giving the money, but that's it. But sometimes it take more than money. And
Mm-hmm.
we need to put in that volunteer time so that it'll benefit everybody. Like if we have to do a project that requires 20 hours and we have 40 people, that's only half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But if we only have, 10 people, then we got to do 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? So if everybody put in that time, that's going to help us make a big difference. And I also want to agree with Natasha when she was saying, like sometimes you can't use the system for we can't use what we have for everything. But when we step outside the system, I think we got to just always remember what we doing with our money. Like be very intentional and picky. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't just spending it anywhere. I mean, okay, I can't go to my people, but if I got to go to you, you got to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you are, whether you Jewish, Italian, Chinese, whatever. If you ain't doing right to my people, you ain't getting my money. I
Exactly.
go to a different one. I might have to go to one of y'all, but you have to earn my, you know what I'm saying? I think we got to be picky
Yeah.
because we just nonchalantly give our money to any store that got what we want. Like, no, what are they doing? Are you killing people over in Africa or Haiti?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure? Because if they killing people over there, that's your dollars helping them.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to be very picky with our money because they picky with theirs. They ain't getting it to us.
Yep.
You know
And
what I'm
just
saying?
to add on to that, we watched one video, and they brought up a good point, and they said how when integration came, we went and stopped spending our money in our own stores and went and spent money in the white stores. But the white people ain't come and start spending money in the black stores.
You know?
They didn't say, okay, well, integration's over, so now everybody can go to each other's stores, there's no problem.
Mm,
They did not
mm-mm.
start going to our stores to
No,
supplement those lost customers that started going to their stores. They
mm-mm.
didn't do it.
They didn't
When you look at our
reciprocate.
businesses right now, today, go to a black brick and mortar, see how many non-black people in there. I
Yeah.
don't care how good the food is, what the service is, they're not going. And this
Mm-mm.
is all the way up to private schools.
Mm-mm.
Okay, I had my stepson in a all black private school in Brooklyn that had phenomenal success. Students went on to top colleges, so on and so forth, and it was a fraction of the cost of private schools for non-black people.
Mm.
Do you think any white people said, you know what?
No.
This black private school is sending their kids to Ivy Leagues too, and they only cost 10,000 a year as opposed to 40,000. We're going to send our kids. They don't care what the results are. They
Yeah.
don't care what the results are. They're not patronizing us. They see us as competition.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
see us as
And they
competition.
taking care of
Always.
their own. Yep. That's
Exactly.
they take care of their own. They say all our money
And we
taking their
don't.
kids to
And we
school.
don't. Whose fault is that? We
Yeah.
got to stop.
We
And we
gotta
keep
stop.
talking it. But soon as we get it, we can do without or whatever it is we got to have, create it and do it ourselves. We make the money.
Mhm.
I see it all the time. I mean, we buying hair, we buying nails. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but wait, take the money and put it somewhere so we can have something where everybody can see we're doing it, and then they can come together and help us. I
Mhm.
mean, what are we doing that if more people came together and got with us, we can have more money?
Mhm.
That's what people look for. They're looking for things that, okay, if you want me to come and I'm going to sit for 3 or 4 hours, how, first of all, there's got to be a plan. What, how would this be increasing our plan?
Mhm.
So if you're gonna be all right, like Deidre was just saying, Sister Deidre was just saying about volunteering. Well, if you got something set up where you making money so you can build your houses, and somebody's got to come in some kind of way, they gotta help with whatever has to be done. Those from the outside can see we're together, getting together, and they see this big thing that we're doing. Not when we take in some money, we putting it back out. We tend to be in, a lot of us tend to always like lovely things and pretty things. Well, soon we're gonna be having those lovely things because we're gonna have all the money. But
Mm-hmm.
until that comes, we gotta do without. Number 10.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that is so having restraint. That's part of discipline. And any successful people that you have to have a high level of discipline.
Yeah.
And we have to train ourselves to consciously look for places where Black people have established their own businesses to spend our money. And that's one of the things that I do with the Black Achievement Fund. Anytime I've spent my money, I don't care what it is. If I want a bag of potato chips, I'm consciously thinking about where I'm going to get those potato chips. Where are the Black-owned convenience stores in my neighborhood? Where are the Black-owned franchises in our neighborhood? Even things like if you go to Jimmy John's, if you go to a Popeyes, they're Black franchisees. Do you know where they are? So consciously spending our money with our own people is one thing, but we also have to establish relationships with these business owners to let them know that we are consciously giving our money to you for a reason. And we expect to see this business as an active participant in our community. I want to see your logo on local fundraisers. I want to see that you supported the Little League. I want to see that you supported the Cultural Center. I want to see that you supported the festival. If you're not using any of your money and supporting things in our community, then we can't just be blanketly supporting you in the same way that we can't blanketly support a political party. It has to be something in it for us as well. And that's one of the things that I've been fighting. I've been fighting the fact that we have so many Black entrepreneurs out here who don't give a crap about our community, who aren't putting money back in our community, who are using our community in the same way that other people are exploiting us. But I don't want to focus on them, but I just want to make sure that even as we are spending money with our people, like when we did with Kwanzaa last year, one of the things we told our members, hey, go to these Black people you've been spending money with all year. Go to the barber that you've been spending money with all year. Go to the hairstylist you've been spending money to all year. Go to these Black businesses where you're spending money to and say, hey, I'm a part of a nonprofit organization. We're raising money to buy land for whatever. Can you make a contribution? We got to hold these businesses accountable too. But one of the things that I learned in the fundraising world is that if you don't ask, you're not going to get. Nobody is just going to open your mind, see what it is that you want, and provide it. And I think a lot of us, for whatever reason, we are afraid of asking our own business people for money. We're afraid of asking people in our own community for money for community things. I don't know where that comes from, but we have to get out of that, because if all of these Black-owned businesses were contributing a small tax or portion back into our community, look what we can achieve. So we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to hold the business community accountable. We have to work together. We have to be innovative in our approach, making sure that we're not operating just like them. We're not operating just like them. So it's important for me when I'm spending money with people. Are you a member of the Black Achievement Fund? You want to go and help build these houses? Then join this organization. If you can't join this organization, I don't want you here. Because I know that if you join this organization, I know that when you come down to Toonsburg to build, it is beyond $1. You understand that we are building a piece of history for our community. We are creating a model, a working model, so that our community can look and see the results of what we're doing and to make that pivot. But again, the burden of proof is on us. We have to show that through Pan-Africanism, we can establish the economic foundation to build our own institutions, to build our own communities, to govern ourselves. The burden of proof is on us. So we need you to understand that this costs money. You have to be able to sacrifice in order to get something. All right, and we made it where $9, that ain't even a big sacrifice. All right, but you have to have the will, and you have to speak with your money, not just with your mouth. You have to speak with your volunteer time, not just with your mouth. You know, you got to have results. At the end of the day, our leadership has to show results, results, results. Anytime you volunteer, results are coming from that. And never have I volunteered for something and was like, man, that was such a drag. I got to stop spending my time volunteering in the community. You ain't never felt that. So, like Sister Deirdre, Sister Natasha, Dr. Gloria, Brother Lou, Brother Jesse, what everyone is saying is that this great vision that we have is not going to happen on its own. We need your help and not just your dollars. When you see these volunteer meetings pop up on your email, please come aboard. You know, even if it's just you texting members the link to our fundraiser, that is volunteer work. You know, even if you are just reading a passage for a night on Kwanzaa, that's volunteer work, but we want to hear your voice. We want to see you. We need people to be involved because we need to show that we are a movement, not just a nonprofit organization. And we have to show that we're about more than money, that we're about growing our people, we're about growing our culture, and we're about putting the work in to make stuff happen. You know, so again, I just want to commend everybody up here for doing their part and to know that it's always a small group of people in the very beginning who are working their butts off that get stuff rolling. All right. And you're part of that small group of people. Okay. We're making history and you don't know it right now. You know, it's even for myself, man, trying to get this deal done. And you guys, I won't even whine with you today about all of the banks that I've gone to finance this, to get this thing moving faster than than what I can do on my own. It's an uphill battle. It is a uphill battle.
And
And
isn't
to
it
me,
4 hours a day when you have to go there and turn around and come back? I mean, do
yeah,
you
when
ever
I
do
do go
that?
down there, but right now I'm spending most of my time on banks, trying to secure the financing. You know, talking to Black people that I know with money, trying to get them to invest so that we can buy this additional 400 acres across the street before somebody else gets it. You know, but we're putting in the work. We need your help. We need your support. Sharing the videos. I know many of you have talked about the Black Achievement Fund and have been shut down by your friends and family. People tell you, oh, they ain't gonna worry, give you lip service, they're gonna join and don't join. I don't want you to be discouraged at all. I want you to understand that our people are reacting to decades and decades and decades of disappointment from the Pan-Africanist leadership establishment who've been espousing these types of programs for decades, but have not been able to successfully manifest these things to a large effect. So don't be dismayed. Understand that the burden of proof is on us to be able to show that this strategy can work. You know, and so far, I think we're doing an excellent job in doing that. What we've accomplished since June of 2020 with the resources that we brought in is absolutely astounding. And the fact that we've been able to maintain without compromising ourselves is also a testament to the consistency of everyone who is rooting us on, who are members and who are behind. You know, so continue to contribute, but also know that we need your help in spreading the word. We need your help in volunteering. We need your help in educating, okay? I'm not the only one that knows a lot of this stuff, all right? I would love it for a member to come on one Sunday and share a video or share knowledge about a piece of Black history, Black culture that you know about. There's so many of our elders, especially in our organization, who are walking historians. And I'm here to tell you that we need to hear your stories because they're not being told in school. All right. So, Brother Jesse, you got your hand up?
Yes, in the event that we have it in September, I'm planning on driving down. Somebody gonna be there that Thursday, so I can come a day early maybe and help out with some things?
Um,
I'll be there.
sure. Yeah, somebody's gonna be there Thursday, definitely.
I'll be there.
Okay, so I'll come on Thursday, so I'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so that's good, that'll work. So I
Yep.
just wanted to help out a little bit.
Awesome, awesome,
That'd be
awesome.
great.
And we want to start doing some retreats, some summer camps and things like that. But we can, they're only ideas if we don't have leadership behind it to help drive it. All right, we have all of this land. We have a Black partner with some beautiful horses who want to bring the horses back and have activities where we can train Black people on riding horses and things like that. But again, we have to have the leadership in terms of the summer camp. All right, we have enough right now that we can host some summer camps for youth on our land. They can pitch tents. We can teach them about all of the native plants and things that are on the land. We can teach them, and just sports and recreation and playing outside. But we need that leadership from you guys. Sister D, you have the floor.
Oh, I just wanted to share from YouTube, Brother Random. Key, check out Flat Rock Archives when you get a chance.
Hold on one second. Flat Rock Archives.
Mm-hmm. And Stonecrest, Georgia business. Oh, too many to name. He said One United turned them down.
Okay, Flat Rock Archives.
Flat Rock. And also Flat Rock Archives, a Black community in Stonecrest.
Okay, yep, I see him.
Okay.
And who else they said? It was some, you said one other place.
No, I think that was it. The other one was no, the other one was Stonecrest, Georgia. No. He was saying it's too busy. You said something about businesses and he said it's too many to name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But no, it was just that one. Flat Rock Archives.
Okay.
It's in Stonecrest, Georgia.
Got it. Oh, yesterday I spoke at the 124th Annual Black Business Convention here in Atlanta at the Hilton. I've got a really, really good reception from the attendees there, so hopefully we can make some new connections across the country. There were a lot of people there from the continent who were looking for investment in particular industries and things like that. So, there were over 400 and something people there. There is too many of us. We're just unfocused. And so many people that I talked to had just brilliant ideas, but the moment I asked about financing or funding, it turned to white people. We have to get serious and understand that we have such a great position of power that we are truly sleeping giants. We are truly sleeping giants, but we're going to show and prove with this organization. We're going to build this community, and this community is going to be one that everybody in this country is going to want to live in. We're going to set the example. We're going to show and prove that what we're talking about can be manifested, and it doesn't need to be 10 million people. Again, the reason why we came up with this 10 million is because we need to be able to develop on a grand scale. That's number one. We need to be able to create a sustainable base of capital. And the only way to do that is to be able to take a small amount of money from a large group of people in the same way that the United States government does, in the same exact way. But there is no way you as a black person can say you want to see black people being self-determining, but then you don't want to contribute a dime towards it. How is that going to happen? How is that possible? You give how much money to the United States government, and how much of that money comes back to your community? And here we're sharing with you a platform in which at least 65% of what you give goes right back into your community. This is a no-brainer. But again, the burden of proof is on us. Okay, we have to be gracious with our people and understand that if we continue to do the hard work, we're going to get the results. And through the results, we're going to win the hearts of our people. And we'll shift the Black leadership establishment away from strict integration to internal organization and self-determination. But again, we got to show and prove. So we need $75,000 to build this first house. And this house is going to be absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So if you have not made your donation, please do so. You go on our website, it's going to pop up, or you can just go to donorbox.org/pyramid1, and it will take you here to our page. I know that we got to update it. All right, we're at $4,500 right now. All right, we want to get to at least $5,000 by the end of the month. So we just need $500. We got a week for $500. So if you haven't made your contribution, please help us get over the 5,000 mark. All right, we're going to make this happen, and we're going to try to do it in less than 24 months this time. If you don't have the $150 at one time, you can go monthly. You can pay $10 a month, 15, 20, but we need you to be generous and to help us make history. All right. We will see you all soon. Are there any other announcements that need to be made for this week?
I think so.
Oh, I got one.
Brother Nasor.
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, family. Good to see everybody. And I'm glad to hear that V word pronounced so many times during the V word is volunteer. Because, because as you know, well, you might not know yet, but we're going to have the camp out September 6th through 8th. However, we are going to do a preliminary, getting the land ready. Basically, we're having a volunteer day. Actually, it's going to be during Labor Day weekend. It's going to be the 31st, Saturday, the 31st. That's next Saturday, actually. So, if you're in the Atlanta area or the Georgia area, please join us because we need all the volunteers we can get. You know, some of the activities are going to be just clearing the main road, the main access road, cutting back some of the brush and stuff to the main campsite. Then we're going to be clearing the campsite. Then we're also going to be clearing the nature and walking trails. Mm-hmm. And basically, that's what it's going to be. Just making it accommodatable for the camp out. And it's going to be one day, basically. That's Saturday, the 31st. The gates at the at New Kemet will be open at 10 o'clock. You know, I'll be there at 10 o'clock. The gates will be open. It's in Toonsboro, Georgia. You'll see an advertisement. Actually, that's what we're going to be putting out an advertisement for that particular day.
Okay, good. We'll make sure that that's out tomorrow too. And to register to come to the event, just go to our homepage and you'll scroll down. We have a section, upcoming programs, and it's the first program that you'll see. All right, just click on that. It's $20 for members, $30 for non-members. Bring your own tents. We'll have grills out there. We also have propane fryers. You don't have to drive from Atlanta with your food. There are grocery stores nearby that you can buy food that we'll have on a grill. But we're just going to have a great time. Everybody camping out together. We're going to have some drums going, the music going. We do some hiking, that sort of thing, cook some food on the grill, but just really getting to know each other a lot more, christening the land and getting comfortable and familiar with the land. For those of you who haven't come yet, I really, really, really recommend that you come and see the land that we have. It's an absolutely beautiful piece of land. And right now in Atlanta, we're going into fall weather. All right, the heat has subsided. So we'll have a really, really comfortable time for the camp out. All right. Any other announcements? All right. Thank you guys once again for all of your support. Black Achievement Fund hug.
Love you, love you, love you.
Love you guys.
Family.
Thank you. Good
All
night.
right, family.
Love you,
More
Black
power
family.
to the people,
Up to the
family.
people.